Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selangor Law. Get results, not excuses.
I got you your latest forecast on a Wednesday. Meteorologist Joe Hansley here. We are mainly dry today. Sunshine, some impacts with some patchy to widespread dense fog again. And then around Thursday night, we'll be more favored for some increasing potential of rain for areas of the state. This isn't for Thursday. This is later tomorrow, and especially Thursday night, including Charleston, other areas south and east, a marginal risk of excessive rain. That's for local flash flood potential that exists at that time. Later in the day, some eastern areas of the state there, slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm, and then by Thursday, waiting for our next incoming cold front, so later in the day tomorrow. Most of us have a marginal risk for isolated severe storms, so watching for isolated flash flood potential and severe storms with our next frontal system coming in later tomorrow. Out the door, we're dry. Be mindful of the low visibility for the morning drive. Some isolated showers and thunder are possible, favoring far southeastern areas of the state for today. Charleston likely dry with sunshine. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Still got some highs well in the ranks of the 90s there. Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Charlotte, and D.C. joining that as well, potentially near 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. From Panhandle to Panhandle today, likely dry, some areas of patchy fog, and then partly cloudy to partly sunny. Highs low to mid 80s today. Eastern Panhandle, a little bit warmer today, mid to upper 80s, some near 90s. Petersburg near 90 today. Across our northern areas, likely dry. Highs around the 70s and 80s in the higher elevations. Elkins near 83 for you today. And to the south, slight chance of an afternoon shower or brief thunderstorm. Lewisburg near 82. Huntington near 88. Warm to hot temps next week. Back near 90.
This is Ben Selangor with Selangor Law. Selangor Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Selangor Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Selangor Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at selangorlaw.com.
Coming up this morning, what's the latest on TANF and the school clothing voucher program? We ask questions, we pose them to Amelia Knisely. And the passing of a country music icon. It's MetroNews Talkline. We are ready to go.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Say good morning to all of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you letting us be part of your day. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line if you would like to participate in today's program. Coming up this morning, we'll talk to Kathy Mattea on the passing of Dolly Parton. She'll join us bottom of the hour. Also, in scale, making a big contribution to the future education of students in Mason County. We'll get into that coming up in the second hour of the program. Also, a little bit later, how you can apply for assistance if you were impacted by the flooding from earlier this summer. So we'll get into all of that as the show unfolds. Jake Link at the video controls today if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. And Ethan Collins handles the audio side of things. Say good morning, as we usually do, to TJ Meadows from the Charleston & Cove Insurance Studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, buddy. How we doing today?
It is middle of the week. And the to-do list continues to grow. I'll let you know about 1:30 this afternoon, whether it's going to be a good second half of the week or not.
I'm still struggling every morning. I know my wife is too, and she does much more than I do, but getting the kids up, getting them ready, getting out the door. Although I have to say, my son, the rock star that he is, he's up at 5:45 every morning, gets himself dressed, made my coffee this morning for me, said, "Dad, I'm ready to go." I thought, man, he takes after his, I don't know, he doesn't get that from me, doesn't get it from his mom either, so somewhere, it's happening. I don't know how.
Speaking of rock stars, we said yesterday when we have questions when it comes to the foster care services, child care services, well, when we have questions about anything, really, we turn to friend of the program and my mother's favorite guest on the show, West Virginia Watch's Amelia Knisely, who joins us from the Cove Insurance Studios in Charleston. Good morning, Amelia.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Well, we're here.
We're here, yes. I am with TJ. I am on the struggle bus this week to get up and get all the kids out the door. I have 3 daughters, so that's 3 sets of pigtails that have to be done, shoes tied, all the things.
First week back for them?
For all 3. It's our first full week,
Okay.
and no one is making me coffee, so I've done something wrong.
No, you're not. They just got to get a little. He even wrote "Have a great day" on it.
Oh my
on
goodness.
the sleeve.
I got to step up my parenting.
Do you get your coffee from the outside or do you make it in-house?
Both, but my husband wishes I mostly just made it in the house. He got me an espresso for Mother's Day, which was very nice. So I make that in the morning, but then I'm just like so weak. Like I work downtown, I go by Taylor Books. I'm like, well, I got to get a golden graham latte. Like I can't control myself.
So, if your husband would like this, I can do a computation of how much you spend every year on coffee and then tell you what that would be in an index fund in like 20 years from now and make you guys sick.
I'd rather not.
Okay.
Lose my number. Do not contact him.
We will continue Coffee Talk with Amelia. That actually sounds like a podcast idea.
Yes.
Coffee Talk with Amelia.
I am a former Starbucks barista, so I could really
Are you
dive
really?
deep in this. Yes,
I could see that.
I'm a millennial hipster. Like, of course I worked at Starbucks. All right, back to children's clothes. We got it.
All right, news story posted at West Virginia Watch this morning. Amelia writes, more than 54,000 children have received the school clothing allowance funds as of Monday, while the Morrissey administration continues to vet applications during the school year. Amazing, because a couple of weeks ago, during interim meetings, we had no idea. What has changed in the last couple of weeks, Amelia?
Well, they're sharing data, so that has changed. We've learned a little bit more. There's also been this change, something that just came out in the last couple of days, that more than 10,000 children received the benefit without applying. Now, some of them may have applied, but they didn't have to apply. It's called an automatic renewal. And so this whole time, since, gosh, how long have we been talking about this? Since June, July. This whole time we've been told a lot of kids applied, too many applications, we ran out of money. And then in the last couple of days, we've learned that 10,000 children received it without applying. Now, these are children who are already enrolled in SNAP or TANF. Those are low-income federal welfare programs. So the need is there, but I think I was really surprised to learn that. I don't know. And I felt that you were too yesterday when I listened to your show. So we've got some data, which is good, but also a twist in the story, I would say. And they have about 3,000-ish more I would say vouchers to hand out, and they plan to do that by the end of the month.
Yeah, I pulled a whoa yesterday when I heard that from Jim. I was like, hey, wait a minute. Do we know if the recipients of this money who did not apply, was there any kind of proactive communication to let them know? And here's where I'm going with this. If all of a sudden $200 showed up on a card, you don't know why it's there. One, are you going to spend it or not? Two, if you do spend it, you might not spend it on clothes. And three, if that happens, isn't that somewhat poisonous fruit in the argument of, well, hey, wait a minute, they're spending it on things that they shouldn't?
Those are great questions, and I had the same question. So what I have gathered from talking to parents and parents reaching out to me, the money appeared for most of the people, and they received a letter after the fact, but not every parent did receive a letter.
Okay.
So from what I have gathered, $200 appeared on these EBT cards over the weekend, and I'm in several.
Was that just this past weekend?
Yes, it was on Saturday.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. No, it's okay. And I should say, too, this was the automatic eligibility was only for kids ages 4 to 10. So I'm in several Facebook groups connecting people with food resources, and parents were like, why did I get $200? Or they were saying, hey, check your card. You may have gotten the school clothing voucher money, just because we knew this was $200 exactly. And back to your question about poisonous, we've heard a lot about this data that the governor's office has produced, that people are using the money at ATMs, or they're taking it to bars and casinos. But this automatic renewal complicates that data even more, because again, they didn't know that they were getting clothing voucher money. So they might have just gotten up and went grocery shopping thinking they were using their SNAP card, not even knowing that they had $200 that were specifically supposed to go to clothes.
Amelia Knisely joining us on loan from West Virginia Watch. The automatic renewal, has this been done in the past, or was this something new implemented this year?
So it has been done in the past, especially during the COVID era. It was a way to, reduce people having to come in office, reduce paperwork, et cetera. The Morrissey administration did away with it last year and moved back to an application process, I think in a way to just make sure people were actually eligible and applying. But they said in a statement last night, this automatic enrollment is not a new practice. And this year, the automatic renewal tool was needed and narrowly applied. 2 groups were prioritized, including kids impacted by the July flooding we saw in West Virginia and kids ages 4 through 10. And so I also wanted to make the point that there's been so many layers to this story: transparency, federal funding, government priorities. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that children are served. And so I think we're seeing an end to that part of the problem. Hopefully everything will go out by the end of the month, and that's really important. So I think that's good to note. But why did we not hear anything about potential automatic renewals for the last 3 months? I don't understand.
That was going to be my question to you. So I kind of think about things in a linear progression. So if I'm running this program, I probably have some kind of Gantt chart set up in my office that says, okay, here's a milestone on date A. We do this by date B, date C. Do we have any idea if this auto renewal was pre-planned or part of the execution plan for this, or did it just pop up all of a sudden? When did we decide to execute on it?
That's a question that I'm going to send to the governor's office today when I leave here. I'm working on a follow-up story. But if we're looking at the timeline of this is like all I've done this summer is cover this program. Yeah. We just had the DOHS Secretary Carl Ehlers before lawmakers last week, and automatic renewals were never mentioned. I mean, I fielded several calls from lawmakers yesterday saying, I'm sorry, what? What is happening? What are they doing? So I don't know why that wouldn't have been brought up. That was just, 2 weeks ago? So it does seem like it was a recent decision. Also, the governor plans to spend $11.4 million this year on the school clothing allowance program. That is a $100,000 increase from last year. They're going to serve about 150 more kids than last year. Okay, cool. But we've been hearing all along that funding was an issue. And so I think that's a question. There's just more questions about what exactly was the crisis? If we had a funding crisis, how did we end up spending more money? So I think those are going to be those are going to be the lingering questions, I think, going forward.
Amelia, do you ever tell your kids they have to go clean their room, and then you argue with them for an hour while they try to not clean their room, and then eventually they clean their room, but it took 4 hours to do something that would have taken an hour?
Not
does that ever happen at your house? No,
absolutely not. Yes, it does.
Do you see where I'm going? This is what we've done. We've reached the end point we would have reached a month ago with no drama. Yeah. And we still don't know what the problem was.
I know. I mean, in our business, communication is key, right? And so from the very beginning, let's rewind back to May. The governor it was a response to a question I had at a press conference. He said, yeah, we have some issues with TANF and we may have to make changes to childcare and school clothing. Okay, didn't hear a word about it. Then July 1st rolls around, the program doesn't launch. Not a peep out of the governor's office, right? And that kind of started this snowball of just a lack of communication. And it has been 8 weeks, I would say, of tough headlines for the governor. Can serving an additional 150 kids combat that? I don't know. But, I'm just here to report what's happening. But I think the situation certainly took over the entire summer of news.
Do we know if there are any children still unserved that haven't gotten the benefit?
There's 3,000 more they say they have to process by the end of the month.
And school started already.
Yeah.
Seems like a miss.
And I think it's worth if we're going to close the book on this story. I don't know that we are, because you know me, I never stop digging. But if we're going to close the book on school clothes, now we move on to childcare. could we see changes to childcare, the childcare subsidy program, or anything else funded by TANF, right? We still don't have a clear picture of exactly what is going on with this federal money. So that'll be something to watch, I think. And lawmakers certainly are going to be asking questions as we go into the next session.
Well, I think we're talking to Amelia Knisely on loan from West Virginia Watch. This chapter of the story may be closed, that the school vouchers are going out, or the school clothing vouchers are going out. Families are going to get that assistance that they applied for, but there's still the quote-unquote structural deficit that the governor mentioned back in May. Apparently that the program is spending more money than the block grant is providing. How much more? Those are still the story doesn't go away, and I think lawmakers certainly they indicated in the August interims they are going to take a more active approach when they get back in January about how this money is allocated and how it's budgeted.
Yeah, and I think something to watch as we get closer to session, which I can't believe, but we are climbing toward it. I mean, and Jim McKay, he said this so much more eloquently than I will yesterday on your show, but the federal purpose, if you Google TANF money and you look at the federal government's website, the sole purpose is for children to safely remain in their homes so they do not enter the foster care system. West Virginia's foster care system is in crisis, right? It is overwhelmed at every point. And I think we have to take a good hard look at how these dollars are being used with that goal in mind. And so something to keep in mind in session is, are lawmakers going to put state dollars to backfill where TANF isn't going to be used under the Morrissey administration? I don't know. But I think those are questions we're going to have to look at this coming session.
I feel the heat on this, not so much on me because I'm just a commentator and someone who writes opinion. The rest of the press, you all write the stories. And look, I know you haven't said this, but I know that the administration feels like they've been treated unfairly on this topic. And to that, I would say, Dave, you can chime in. You have no one to blame but yourselves. When you are not transparent, especially when it comes to children and money, and you can't back up with fact what you are saying, and then you can't go before legislators and say, this was spent on X date, we've processed this many, these are out the door, blame it on the computer system, whatever you want to blame it on. But at the end of the day, that responsibility falls on the administration. And we're coming up on, 18 months into this thing, maybe a little more. So blame the last guy if you want, or the guy after that, fine. But if you're unhappy with these stories, do a better job. Stand up and say, we screwed something up, right? And just be as transparent as you can be. And Dave, I feel like the administration has yet to do that, because here we are again, to your point, finally got to the end result, but we didn't need all the drama to get there. And it's just one more shoe dropping after one more shoe dropping after one more dropped ball. And it seems like that all could have been avoided if we would just come in and say, look, we got a problem. Here's what it is. And here's what we're going to do to work it out.
Let me give you, I had a light bulb moment the other day when Tom Sussman was on the program with us. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that Governor Morrissey, he reminded us all, is an attorney. And attorneys by nature don't like to tell you anything until it is all sewn up, 100% sealed, solid, done, airtight case, right? Most attorneys don't like to do that. So best case scenario, I think that's the governor's nature. He wants to make certain and he's very active. We know the governor is very active in the operations here.
Yes.
So he doesn't want to put out, he doesn't want to get into a subject until he knows it and understands it thoroughly, and all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, airtight case. That's the attorney in him. However, in the absence of information, nature hates a vacuum, right? You start to ask questions, and those bits and pieces of information starts to trickle out, and that leads to another question, and that leads to another answer. And in the middle of summer, especially, guys, we have nothing else to talk about. So this thing took on a life of its own. But you're right. If you just come out and say, hey, here's the issue. This isn't going to impact this year, but we need to address this in January. I think a lot of this could have been alleviated. A lot of it could have been alleviated. Communication, whether it's city council or federal government, communication goes a long way in avoiding some of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Yeah, I said that earlier. Communication was such a central part of this story. I think Tom Sussman's assessment is very accurate of this governor and attorneys in general. It's not, and you're right that people are going to start asking questions, but also people's services were disrupted, right? And so there's that part of it too, that parents didn't know as of the first week of July if this voucher was even going to be available for them. And I think it's illuminated such a need. Right. I mean, that's something I've really taken away from this story, too. I didn't realize how key this program was in West Virginia. So, yeah, I think this is not the first communication breakdown we've had with this administration, as I will speak for the press corps. So, yeah, I think it's just we have more questions moving forward when it comes to how he's spending federal dollars.
Favorite Dolly Parton song?
Here You Come Again. I sing it at karaoke all the time. Not as well as her, obviously, but
There you go.
All right, karaoke during the legislative session. That's on the list.
yes,
All right,
yes.
Amelia Knisely on loan from West Virginia Watch, my mother's favorite guest, and I'm told also the favorite guest of the Voice of the Herd as well. So there you go. 2 in the fan
That is
club.
high praise. Oh my goodness. That is so nice. I'm so glad you didn't bring up the A's. I'm already mourning Dolly Parton. I don't need to talk about my floundering baseball team.
Well, I don't have any room to talk, Amelia.
Yeah, well,
We're in the same boat here. Although the Reds did sweep the A's this year.
You had to say it.
I mentioned it.
You better Venmo me for coffee for saying that. I'm just kidding.
Amelia, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Same.
Back in a moment.
For decades, ZMM Architects and Engineers and Omni Associates Architects have served communities through excellence in design and client service. We're not changing that. We're building on it right here in West Virginia. ZMM and Omni are now part of Aterna Group, a collective of established architecture and engineering brands built on local leadership and committed to enriching community life. For our clients, that means the same local experts, relationships, and commitment they've known for years, now with even more support and resources. Find out more at zmm.com or omni.design.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by Go-Mart. Only on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Text line is 304-TALK, 304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK. Metro News High School Sports Line returns tonight across the Metro News Radio Network. Fred Persinger, Dave Jecklin, and Joe Bricado will get you ready for the first week of high school football. They'll be talking to coaches and athletes around the state each and every week, discussing the top storylines right up through the high school championships in December. Metro News High School Sports Line tonight, 7:06 to 9 on many of these same Metro News Radio affiliates. And tonight's guests include all four of the state champion winning football coaches from last year on the show tonight. High school football will kick off tomorrow. 7 games on the Thursday night slate tomorrow night, including the SSAC Kickoff Classic. More on that coming up in just a bit. We're going to visit with Cameron principal Wyatt O'Neill. He will join us. It'll be Cameron and Clay Battelle in the kickoff game on the Metro News TV app tomorrow night. Coming up next, we're going to talk to West Virginia country music legend Kathy Mattea about the passing of country music icon and maybe the last universally beloved star in the country, Dolly Parton, who passed away yesterday at the age of 80. We'll talk to Kathy Mattea coming up other side of the news break. We'll get to your text as well. Text line, you know it, 304-TALK, 304. Phone number, calls always welcome at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I got you your latest forecast on a Wednesday. Meteorologist Joe Knisely here. We are mainly dry today. Sunshine, some impacts with some patchy to widespread dense fog again. And then around Thursday night, we'll be more favored for some increasing potential of rain for areas of the state. This isn't for Thursday. This is later tomorrow, and especially Thursday night, including Charleston, other areas south and east, a marginal risk of excessive rain. That's for local flash flood potential that exists at that time. Later in the day, some eastern areas of the state there, slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm, and then by Thursday, waiting for our next incoming cold front, so later in the day tomorrow. Most of us have a marginal risk for isolated severe storms, so watching for isolated flash flood potential and severe storms with our next frontal system coming in later tomorrow. Out the door, we're dry. Be mindful of the low visibility for the morning drive. Some isolated showers and thunder are possible, favoring far southeastern areas of the state for today. Charleston likely dry with sunshine. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Still got some highs well in the ranks of the 90s there. Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Charlotte, and D.C. joining that as well, potentially near 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. From Panhandle to Panhandle today, likely dry, some areas of patchy fog, and then partly cloudy to partly sunny. Highs low to mid 80s today. Eastern Panhandle, a little bit warmer today, mid to upper 80s, some near 90s. Petersburg near 90 today. Across our northern is likely dry. Highs around the 70s and 80s in the higher elevations. Elkins near 83 for you today. And to the south, slight chance of an afternoon shower or brief thunderstorm. Lewisburg near 82. Huntington near 88. Warm to hot temps next week. Back near 90.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
Your text coming up, 304-TALK, 304-800-765-TALK is the phone number. A little bit later on, InScale making a big contribution to students in Mason County. We'll get into that coming up 11:06 this morning. Sometimes, as you're doing prep for this show, you end up going down a road you were not expecting, and that's what happened today as I was doing some research, air quotes, taking in some vintage Dolly Parton today. I came across the 1993 music video. The song was Romeo from Dolly's album Slow Dancing with the Moon album. And who do I see sitting on a bar stool next to Dolly calling for Romeo, who was Billy Ray Cyrus, by the way, to come on over? Oh, it was our next guest. Member of the Grand Ole Opry, two-time Grammy winner, West Virginia's own Kathy Mattea, who joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Kathy, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Do you remember that video from 1990, that song from 1993?
Oh, when you do anything with Dolly, you do not forget. I mean, it is just, it's just one of my sweet. Sometimes I look back and I feel like I was Forrest Gump when I was younger. And that's one of those moments where I'm like, how did that happen in my life? It was amazing.
That was star-studded. That was a superstar collaboration there with you, Dolly, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Tanya Tucker, Pam Tillis, and, of course, Billy Ray Cyrus at probably the height of his popularity. That was a huge collab back in the day.
It is. I would put a Facebook post up about it, and I thought, it's hard for young people now to appreciate what Billy Ray was like when he came out. I mean, we were on the same record label, so I was there for a front row center seat for all of it, and it was like a phenomenon. It was out of nowhere. And so, of course, Dolly is like always riding the crest of the cultural wave. She really was very, very good at that. And so she writes this really fun song, and he gets to participate. She becomes the godmother of his kid, and my big memory of that night that is just seared into my mind is it's like a 10-hour day or something. It's like a long day to shoot a video. And we'd all been there all day, and it was the end of the night, and everybody was packing up. They were, pulling all the equipment down and stuff. And John, my husband, and I are standing on the side, about to go out the door, and Mary Chapin Carpenter comes walking across the room with her, clothes on her back and stuff, and she just walks up to us, and she just looks at me, and she goes, I said, yeah, I know. She was, I said, yeah, I know. It's like you can't even put it into words. She's not supposed to be real. She's not supposed to be standing in front of you talking to you. It's like hard to wrap. You're also just seeing how tiny and how big she was at the same time. It's also like you're like, what would that be like to be in that body,
Kathy, I was thinking about this last night. My kids, I have 3 in elementary school. They know Dolly from a feature she did with Zach Williams in contemporary Christian music. I know Dolly. My mom knows Dolly. My late 80s grandfather knows and loves Dolly. How rare is that? That someone is able to not only cross genres the way she did, but generations. I mean, that's 4 generations there. And it's just amazing to me that she was able to do that.
Yeah. I think this is going to be really good for all of us to try to put into words what she meant to so many different people, because I think it's going to inspire a lot of people who know one piece of her, know her from some movie, or, I was talking to a friend yesterday. One of my friends has 8 kids, and she's like, oh yeah, every time I'd have another kid, the books would just come in the mail for the kids from the reading thing that she did. And so Imagination Library. So she, the reach of her and the vision she had and the way she used her talents and what she chose to put into the world, there's so many different facets to it, I think. And, what you just said is so unusual and important. To be an important force in many different generations' lives is, almost unprecedented, really.
Kathy Mattea is joining us, talking about the life and career of Dolly Parton, passing away at the age of 80. What set her apart? There are superstars, there are megastars, then there are these icons. She was an icon. What set her apart?
Well, I think the foundational thing is just that she was immensely talented. She always said, I do a lot of stuff, but I always think of myself as a songwriter first. And the songs that she wrote are iconic. So many of them mark our lives and went on to be recorded by the next, she wrote this song called To Daddy. And Emmylou recorded it, and I learned it from Emmylou's version. Then I went back and found Dolly's version, and I sang it in my young years in West Virginia. And when I moved to Nashville, it was like one of the things that are in a song circle I would pull out and sing. And so she influenced generations because her stuff was timeless. The storytelling aspect, the universality of like the human experience, how it came through her. And then there was this other thing, which was like a vision about an image. And the thing that always struck me was that that was so consistent. Like if I saw Dolly and then I didn't see her for a while, when I saw her again, she was exactly the same. She treated everybody exactly the same. And she sort of made this persona. And I think part of why it was such a mind-boggling thing to be in her presence is that she was totally artificial and totally real at the same time. Like, how do you take that in? Mm-hmm. So I think that she was smart. She had a vision. She didn't waver from it. She knew who she was. She knew why she was here. And she stewarded her gifts beautifully.
I was talking with one of our country jocks last night about her life and her legacy, and he pointed out to me that he said the overwhelming majority of her Grammys, her CMAs, her ACMs, they were all for collaborative works. Yeah. Most people at her stature, I mean, let's just face it, a lot of us have egos. It seems to me like she never really had one. And because of that, she was comfortable in collaborating and allowing other people's talent to shine through her talent. Talk about that.
Well, I think she was really gifted like that. And the songwriting, again, I think was the heart of it. Like, with this video that I did with her, it was just fun, it was just a fun thing. And most people would sit back on the sidelines and watch Billy Ray Cyrus and think, oh, that guy, wow, he's really hot. He's really doing well. But Dolly's like, wouldn't this be fun? And kind of the way I see it is that she had this immense talent, but it's like she wanted to play in the sandbox with everybody. And so she was always looking for ways to make that fun and to, like I was saying, ride the crest of the cultural wave. Like she wasn't sitting on the sidelines watching it happen. She was like, I want to have that fun. And I saw a clip of her last night where she said, I always want to be important. I thought that was such an interesting thing. Like the way I interpreted that is I want to be relevant. I don't want to be like a dinosaur. I don't want to be a caricature of myself. I want to be in the conversation in real time. And she was a master at that.
Was that all a result of her confidence, her success in business, being able to go, kind of break the stereotypes of Appalachian folk? Was that all a result of her confidence in knowing exactly who she was?
Absolutely. And also a really, really sharp mind that could come up with things like, well, my first hit was called Dumb Blonde, but I don't worry about that because I know I'm not dumb and I know I'm not blonde. That was like one of my favorite lines of hers. And so this way of like playing the stereotype up, but then undermining it with a very, very sharp wit. They said at one point, there was another clip I saw last night of her during Women's Lib in the 70s, and everybody was like, where does Dolly stand on this, and she's like, so they show a clip of somebody interviewing her and saying, well, I heard you say somewhere that you burned your bra just like all them feminists. And she said, well, yes, I did. I burned my bra and it took the fire department 3 hours to put it out. And that's like her way of not jumping into the controversy, but smart and funny. She could like keep you on her side and let you know exactly what she wanted you to know about herself and not jump into the fray. It was masterful, really.
She came up rough. Came up poor, which I think relates to a lot of us in Appalachia. We've either grown up that way ourselves or we know people who have. How do you think that molded her for the future? You think she would have been as big as she was had she not come up poor?
That's hard to say. It feels like she would have been the same person no matter where she grew up, but the fact that she always stayed connected to her Appalachian roots and her hometown. A lot of the songs she wrote were about that. I think that she did this service for Appalachia, I don't know, it's not a very articulate way of saying it, but she brought it forth, and it was still, even as she was like glamorous, and she talks about it, she's like, I modeled my look after this floozy in town, like she even that got taken back to her hometown and the way she grew up. So I think she had a vision. I suspect, I was thinking about this last night. I suspect, it sounds like she knew who she was and what she wanted to do from the time she was very, very young. Like it was just always with her, like it was her destiny. And the fact that she took her Appalachian roots and influence with her all the way through it, makes us all feel seen, all of us who grew up there.
Dolly Parton, gone at the age of 80. Grand Ole Opry member, two-time Grammy Award winner, West Virginia's own Kathy Mattea. Thanks so much for sharing some memories this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I feel lucky to have memories with Dolly.
Coming up, more Talkline in a moment from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
The WVSSAC Kickoff Classic presented by the Army National Guard is tomorrow night. We'll have coverage on the MetroNews TV app. Cameron at Clay Battelle. Don't forget, download the app to watch on your mobile device and smart TV. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is the principal at Cameron High School, Wyatt O'Neill. Wyatt, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
The heck of a way to get the season started here. Cameron versus Clay Battelle. And for folks who aren't aware, this is right up there with Michigan versus Ohio State or the Pitt versus WVU. This is a big-time rivalry.
Well, yes, it is. I mean, it is for us. We may have small numbers, these small towns, but that's about all we got. And so it really does mean a lot to both communities.
Well, that's what makes it special, Wyatt. The whole community. I know that community in Blacksville. I know the community in Cameron. Everybody gets behind when there's a game like this, when there's a game at the state tournament. The entire community turns out. That's what makes high school sports special.
Yes, it does.
Talk to me about what you're doing to get the kids fired up.
It's just the start of the school year. They're just happy. They're happy to be back, and they're raring to go. I mean, with just such a wet August, the kids, everyone's ready to be back. The coaches, I can hear them down there when I go out to the vehicle in the evening. They're working them, and we know Clay Battelle's working them.
Talking to Wyatt O'Neill, Cameron High School principal. The SSAC Kickoff Classic coming up tomorrow night. Cameron at Clay Battelle. What's going on at Cameron High School to get the school year started?
We just rolling the kids out in classes. We're really getting enrollment as far as participation and all of our other sports.
You've got a championship pedigree there at Cameron. What's the expectation for the football team this year?
I expect to be at the end of the playoffs. I mean, top four. Again, you never know how the season's going to go, but we're just really looking forward to it. We know that Clay Battelle did really well last year. We ended up losing them in the semis, and we were happy to get to see them participate in state championship.
How does a successful start to the school year set the tone for, I know it's a long school year at Wyatt, but how does it set the tone for the entire year?
Football, typically, it's always for years. You have a good football season, it carries through the other sports. It keeps the kids interested, it keeps the community interested, it keeps the morale up, and you always have a better year when you have a better football season.
What are your expectations for the overall school year this year?
I think we're going to have a great one. I really do. I think we're going to start with a good football season. We have a lot of participants across the board here in extracurricular activities. Our band participation is high. We have a lot out for volleyball. Cross country is doing well. When we get the kids moving and more participating, it just carries over into the next season, our winter sports and our spring sports. And it's just really nice to have a game like this scheduled. We're really happy that we were chosen to open the season this year, especially with Clay Battelle. It's really nice to have to play another school that pretty much mirrors us. They're very similar to us. About the same enrollment, 180 kids, 190. They're in a multi-school county. They're kind of the smaller school in that county. It's kind of placed out on the edge of the county. We share so much. Like last year when they were in state championship, I could hear everyone in the school here cheering when they jumped out to an early lead. Mm-hmm. They have a lot in common with us, both kind of coal mine oriented towns, especially later. We both sit on the same side. If you go to the game and watch, you have Cameron and Clay Battelle on the same side. It means a lot to both of them, so they cheer a little harder, get into a little more, and it's pretty exciting.
Should be a fun one tomorrow night. It'll be the WVSSAC Kickoff Classic presented by the Army National Guard. Cameron at Clay Battelle will have that game play-by-play coverage on the Metro News TV app. Wyatt O'Neill, Cameron High School principal, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. Good luck.
Thank you.
Take a break. Be back. Wrap up hour number 1. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Struggling with weight can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. At the WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center, we offer proven surgical options and compassionate support to help you achieve lasting weight loss and better health. We guide you every step of the way, from personalized planning to long-term success. Reserve your spot at a free, no-obligation information session. Call 304-293-1728 or visit wvumedicine.org/bariatrics.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week powered by GoMart.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now. Couple of texts here, 304 Talk 304. Celebrate the Mountain State with the West Virginia Lottery's Mountain State Money Second Chance. Play Daily 3, Daily 4, or Cash 25 in-store or online for your chance to win. 40 winners will each take home $500. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. 304 Talk 304. Did that principal say 2 high schools will be playing each other and they have about 180 kids? 180 kids in a high school sounds crazy. These numbers sound about right for Clay Battelle and Cameron. Those are small schools. Small schools, small communities. 304 Talk 304. Thanks for setting up the tribute to Dolly with Kathy. Good job, guys. You are quite welcome. Dolly knew poverty. Dolly knew empathy. Dolly knew what true charity was. Dolly was a great humanitarian, says the texter. Ooh, that's a long one. It's a good one, but it's a long one. Bookmark that, and we'll come back to it. 304 Talk 304. Dolly was one of the last people holding this ragged country together. The sun is a bit dimmer today. She may be, given the complete polarization of this country, she might be the last true universally loved icon. I hate to say that, but it might be the fact.
Turned down the Presidential Honor or Medal of Freedom, I should say, twice, different administrations, because she didn't want to be politicized, didn't want in the political argument. A shrewd business lady, too. Man, I admired her business acumen. Just tons of great deals. And I'm not just talking about Dollywood. She was into much, much more than just Dollywood. But very shrewd. Talk about that deal, keeping her publishing rights with I Will Always Love You, refusing to give them over to Elvis's manager. Shrewd. Great deal.
Coming up, second hour. InScale, making a big contribution in Mason County. We'll get into that in 6 minutes. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I got you your latest forecast on a Wednesday. Meteorologist Joe Knisely here. We are mainly dry today. Sunshine, some impacts with some patchy to widespread dense fog again. And then around Thursday night, we'll be more favored for some increasing potential of rain for areas of the state. This isn't for Thursday. This is later tomorrow, and especially Thursday night, including Charleston, other areas south and east, a marginal risk of excessive rain. That's for local flash flood potential that exists at that time. Later in the day, some eastern areas of the state there, slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm, and then by Thursday, waiting for our next incoming cold front, so later in the day tomorrow, most of us have a marginal risk for isolated severe storms. So watching for isolated flash flood potential and severe storms with our next frontal system coming in later tomorrow. Out the door, we're dry. Be mindful of the low visibility for the morning drive. Some isolated showers and thunder are possible, favoring far southeastern areas of the state for today. Charleston likely dry with sunshine. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Still got some highs well in the ranks of the 90s there. Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Charlotte, and D.C. joining that as well, potentially near 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. From Panhandle to Panhandle today, likely dry, some areas of patchy fog, and then partly cloudy to partly sunny. Highs low to mid 80s today. Eastern Panhandle, a little bit warmer today, mid to upper 80s, some near 90s. Petersburg near 90 today. Across our northern areas, likely dry. Highs around the 70s and 80s in the higher elevations. Elkins near 83 for you today. And to the south, slight chance of an afternoon shower or brief thunderstorm. Lewisburg near 82. Huntington near 88. Warm to hot temps next week. Back near 90.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Say good morning once again to our great radio affiliates all across the state. We appreciate you letting us be part of your day. Also, if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube, we appreciate you as well. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK-304. Gang's all here on a Wednesday. Jake Link back at the controls on the video side of things, and Ethan Collins is our audio producer. We'll get to some of your texts coming up at 304-TALK-304. Also, bottom of the hour, we'll get into how you can apply for assistance. Michelle Watley going to join us with the Disaster Recovery and Resiliency Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration. We'll get into that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Say good morning once again to TJ Meadows from the Encova Insurance Studios South. TJ, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. This story breaking this morning. Meta said today it has agreed to pay about $18 billion with a B, as part of a settlement to resolve a multi-state lawsuit claiming that it intentionally designed addictive platforms that harmed young people's mental health. Also being reported that they will put a 2-hour-a-day cap on teenagers being able to use the platform. If their competitors agree, they will drop that to 1 hour. So if competitors will do the same, Facebook, Meta saying they'll drop that to 1 hour a day.
Okay. Yeah, well, like teens won't figure out a way around that.
They're pretty resourceful, Dave.
They are. They figure it out one way or the other. 304-TALK, 304, the text line, 800-765-8255. InScale, which is developing a data center in Mason County, is giving $500,000 to the Mason County Board of Education. You can read the story at WVMetroNews.com this morning. That money will go toward the establishment of what's being called a premier STEM and skilled trades initiative in Mason County. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is Senior Vice President of Commercial Power at Nscale, Gardner Boulmay. Gardner, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming on. The STEM Center that is going to be developed in Mason County will focus on skilled trades. Make the connection between Nscale, data centers, and the skilled trades.
Sure. Absolutely. Happy to do it. So it's great to be on this morning and talk to you guys about what we're doing in Mason County. And as you can imagine, we are talking about 6,000 construction jobs and 700 permanent jobs. They're going to be rolling on over the next couple of years. And that requires really strong professionals who are familiar with science, technology, engineering, and math. So electricians, plumbers, mechanics, everything that is required to build data centers and make them run. These data centers are running AI models for all of the big companies that are out there promoting their AI tools that I'm sure we're using more and more every day. And so having the ability and the workforce that is well trained to execute on that vision is absolutely crucial to our success. Our success is tied to Mason County and West Virginia's success, and that's what the STEM investment is intended to begin.
Gardner, Ernst & Young, EY, recently put together a report talking about the economic benefit, the overall impact that the Monarch campus will have in Mason County. I want to start with this. Talk about the direct impact, but also get in a bit to the indirect impact, because I think that's part of the story here that people might be surprised to understand.
Yeah, that's right. So you have the jobs, of course, that are on site. So during the construction phase of the project, we already have a few hundred people out there now. That's going to be ramping up to about 4,375 direct jobs on the site. But then there's another roughly 1,875 jobs of suppliers and local businesses that are brought to Mason County because of the 4,300 construction jobs on the site. That's going to represent, $1.5 billion of cumulative labor income for workers. We're talking about average wages, including benefits, of over $150,000 a year. And that's going to drive about $3.9 billion of added investment to the county's economy during the construction phase of the project.
Gardner Boulmay joining us, Senior Vice President, Commercial Power for Nscale. When you crunch these numbers, it all sounds good, but put that into practical terms. What does that mean for Mason County?
So what that means is you're going to have about 5,000 people on site working during the construction phase over the course of the next year and a half. Once the first phase is complete, that's going to transition about 700 permanent on-site jobs. These are very high-paid AI jobs. And what that means from an economic development perspective is we're going to be contributing $105 million a year of annual property taxes to Mason County. 87 million of that is going to go to the school board at Mason County, which we're very, very proud of. Another 13 million is going to go to the county government and 5 million to emergency services. And that really gives Mason County the transformational investment it needs around infrastructure, salaries, curricula, everything required to make a project like this in the community in which it operates very successful.
Paint that picture for us in terms of these ancillary businesses that will come in. I think folks have been hearing about the data center. I'm not sure that any of us have a good understanding of what kind of businesses will come to support that. So what are we talking about when we talk about these other jobs and these other businesses that are going to be set up nearby?
Sure. So it's everything you need when you're adding thousands of jobs to a particular location. Everything from restaurants to car washes to banking services to homes to everything you could possibly imagine. Other customers for every other business, since everyone, hopefully is going to be relocating to Mason County and really helping support the greater Mason County community.
Gardner, if I were, say a 16-year-old going to school there in Mason County and I was looking at my career opportunities ahead, what kind of skilled trades are you going to need to operate a data center? Once all the construction's done and the data center's up and running, what are you looking for?
Sure. So we're looking for everything from IT folks that have an IT background to mechanics to plumbers to electricians, everything. We need security personnel, everything you could imagine to operate an investment that's going to be many tens of billions of dollars and generating hundreds of millions of property taxes for the state of West Virginia.
You're clearly very familiar with data centers. Talk to me about some of these narratives that are out there. I think you've got folks, and I'm one of them, who is on board with this idea. You've got some folks, unfortunately, or their opinion, they don't like data centers. And then you got a lot of folks in the middle that are trying to figure this out because it's new to them and they're working their job and they're doing their thing. And they're just trying to understand fact from myth. So let's start with things like electricity rates and maybe water, because folks are critical about the fact, it'll drive electricity up or they'll use all of the water. Given your experience, what would you say to that person who's trying to understand what's really at stake here?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of misinformation out there, which is really unfortunate. Our solution is completely off-grid. So we will generate all of our own power. We will never interconnect with the grid. And we're also a closed loop water system. So that means that once we fill it up the first time, like your car radiator, we don't continuously reuse it. So we generate all of our own power. We're not going to touch electricity rates. We have a self-contained system for all of our water needs. So we're not going to be using any potable water for cooling of the data center. We're going to operate quietly. We're going to have, beautiful vegetation all around the campus. We're going to have berms for visual line abatement, noise abatement, those sorts of things. So I think there's just a lot of unfortunate misinformation out there that people are using to maybe scare some folks, sadly. A modern data center like we're building is clean, it's efficient, it's quiet, it doesn't consume potable water for cooling, it doesn't affect your electricity rates. It's a great neighbor.
How are you combating that misinformation?
So what we try to do is just be very candid about every component of our project, from we're generator on power to we're not touching the grid to we're a closed loop system, and just be very proactive out there, be very public about it, get fact sheets out, talk about the EY report, meet tirelessly with stakeholders, politicians, local community folks that are very active, from the governor's office to the folks in the legislature, to the county commissioners, to the mayor, to our neighbors, right? We spend a lot of times in the community in which we operate, talking to those neighbors, hearing their concerns. When there's a problem, we apologize, we step in, we fix it, we take ownership of it. We really want to be a good neighbor for those folks. And the only way you can do that is by being proactive and engaged and leaning into positive community benefits.
Do you ever feel like sometimes you are subject to some of your peers in the industry? And I guess another way to say that is, as with anything in life, whether you're building a car, building a data center, whatever it is, you've got good developers and good construction folks and good owners of these facilities. And unfortunately, sometimes you've got bad. And do you believe sometimes those that are in the bad category are for lack of a better phrase, I guess, spilling over into those of you who do good?
Of course. I mean, that certainly can happen in any industry, right? But all we can control is what we do and how we engage with the community and the positive benefits we can bring. And if something does happen on our watch, we step in and make it right immediately, right? So we can only control what we can do. But yeah, there is some unfortunate broad brush strokes that we can sometimes get colored with folks that may not be the best developers, or they might interconnect with the grid or things like that. We don't do any of those things, but sometimes we do get painted with that brush. But that's why you just keep leaning in, keep being positive, keep being relentlessly empathetic with the communities in which you operate. That's our goal.
We're talking to Gardner Boulmay, Senior Vice President, Commercial Power InScale, about the development of the data center there in Mason County. InScale providing a $500,000 gift to Mason County schools for the development of a STEM and Skilled Trades Initiative premier program there in Mason County. Gardner, as we look ahead to the future of AI technology, we've kind of scratched the surface of quantum computing in some of our discussions here. How will these facilities play a role in that development and where we go with the national economy in the next 20, 30 years ahead? I know, big question there for you, Gardner.
Those are some big questions. Yeah. I need to go back to my economics days as an undergrad. Look, we're really excited and really bullish about everything we're doing in Mason County and in West Virginia. West Virginia has an incredible opportunity to really be a leader in America for data center development. And I'm very passionate and very proud of what we're doing, and I know our entire company is. in terms of the benefits that we're bringing to folks. I think the future is incredibly bright. I think, people see it every day in terms of their interactions with AI. And I think, there are things that need to be resolved, and they will be resolved. And you want folks like us working with the community to try to make sure that any issues that creep up, we can address directly. But we're very, very excited about what this means for the future of West Virginia. I grew up in New Orleans and saw, the oil bust of the 80s, not to date myself, but you can see the gray beard. And I remember that really vividly and what it did to my family. And I'm really honored and humbled to be able to help be a part of bringing kids and grandkids back to West Virginia for jobs that are going to be cutting edge for decades to come, that pay great wages, that operate in a very clean and responsible way. It fills me with a lot of pride.
Well, I think the market loves what you're doing. I was reading a piece in Bloomberg, $3 billion in U.S. IPO. I mean, that's an extraordinary opportunity. And Gardner, quite frankly, we are not in West Virginia normally on the front end with a facility right here that is really one of the catalysts of that kind of capital and that kind of response in the market. I mean, talk about that a little bit, if you will. That in and of itself, I think, sets you guys up for a great runway moving forward with what you're doing now and maybe what you'll do in the future in West Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the folks of West Virginia could not be better partners. Again, from the governor's office to the legislature to the county commission to our neighbors. We want to do right by everybody and be the best partner we can be. And West Virginia has an incredible opportunity with everything else going on in America to really leap ahead and really bring so many jobs, so much investment, so much in property taxes and income taxes and those sorts of things. It really, not to get too over our skis, but I think it's really a golden opportunity for West Virginia to accelerate its economic transformation here over the coming decades.
You can read the story this morning over at the website, wvmetronews.com. More about the $500,000 gift for Mason County Board of Education to establish a training program for students. He's Gardner Boulmay, Senior Vice President of Commercial Power with InScale. Gardner, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take a break. Come back. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer golf coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
Talk 304, that's the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Texter says, good morning, guys. Is the county going to get all of the property tax funds? Didn't the data center bill that the state passed limit some of that funding flowing to the county is what I think you meant. Also, let's be careful when buying all of these ancillary economic activities being added around these data centers. These ancillary businesses never seem to develop. Just look at Toyota in Buffalo. There are 2,000 people working there now, besides the new bridge crossing the river, a gas station, and with a Subway and a Mexican restaurant have been added in the greater Buffalo Metroplex. Have been added in the last 25 years. Not exactly the Tier 1 auto part manufacturers discussed when Toyota was announced. Love the show, says the texter. I don't have the percentage breakdown. There was a percentage breakdown of where that tax revenue would go from the data centers, the high-impact data centers. A portion would go toward a fund to reduce and eliminate the income tax. A portion would go somewhere else. And yes, there would be a portion to the counties. And that was a big sticking point with HB 2014 back during the legislative session in 25 is how much would be, it might be 30, I don't want to say, I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was a big sticking point in getting that bill through, and eventually there was a compromise there. But there is a portion, not all of it, but a portion will come back to the counties, yes.
Yeah, they've got some numbers here. I'm not sure I understand them fully, so I'll check with them first. If you want to ping us back tomorrow, and maybe I can give you a better answer, but they've done some pro forma work they gave us here on what they think would go to the state, $61 million to the state. Another $10 million to West Virginia counties, but I've got to check the Mason County breakout because I know, Dave, it gets a little fuzzy with the math in terms of the school versus the county and how the new 2014 allocation works versus the school aid formula, and it gets a little hairy, so.
And as far as the second part of that text, I get the skepticism. I understand because we are often promised the world in West Virginia. We hear the P word, potential. There's the potential for, and we never seem to see that potential realized. So I understand the skepticism, but make no bones about it. When you have this type of development and you add people, you will add those businesses to support those people because we see it work the other way around. We have, unfortunately, more often than not, seen it work the other way where the business leaves, the main business leaves, and then the mom-and-pop diner closes. The local department store has to close because that population goes. The business comes, it brings the population, and logic would say you will see ancillary benefits from that.
Yeah, Doug, fair point. I looked at how they did this model. They used a model called IMPLAN, IMPLAN, which is the industry standard when it comes to understanding regional economic impact. And that's really what this is. So what they're saying is, maybe an ancillary business that provides some kind of circuit breakers or something for this data center. I'm kind of spitballing here. Maybe they find land at a facility that's in Cabell County and they build or they rent a building, or maybe that happens in Putnam County. All of that is kind of factored together on a regional basis. So it's not just Mason proper, but look, big for the region. And if we only get half of it, Dave, I think we're much better off than what we were going in.
304 Talk 304, that's the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. With significant tax revenue coming in from data centers, do you think that any contributions will be made to the Human Fund, money for people? Well, I mean, I would make a $25,000 contribution to the Human Fund, but that's just me. Texter says, I'm glad that guy wasn't in studio. You may have gotten Randy. Who's Randy? 304 Talk 304 is the text line.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Oh,
you notice he was being very strategic using the term potable water. Cool, so he's not using city water, which absolutely nobody was accusing them of. But, well, they will still be using up to massive amounts of fresh water resources from the state and discharging wastewater back into those freshwater resources, says the texter.
Yeah, it'll probably be cleaner going out than what it was going in. Show me something that says it's not. Been in the industry a long time. I've never seen anyone be able to take fresh water and put it back in dirtier than what it came in. I don't buy that.
Especially coming out of the Ohio River. Love it. Love the Ohio River, but never ate anything out of it either.
No.
All right, coming up, we have more Talkline as we continue from the Encova Insurance Studios. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Anchor Desk. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I got you your latest forecast on a Wednesday. Meteorologist Joe Knisely here. We are mainly dry today. Sunshine, some impacts with some patchy to widespread dense fog again. And then around Thursday night, we'll be more favored for some increasing potential of rain for areas of the state. This isn't for Thursday. This is later tomorrow, and especially Thursday night, including Charleston, other areas south and east, a marginal risk of excessive rain. That's for local flash flood potential that exists at that time. Later in the day, some eastern areas of the state there, slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm, and then by Thursday, waiting for our next incoming cold front, so later in the day tomorrow. Most of us have a marginal risk for isolated severe storms, so watching for isolated flash flood potential and severe storms with our next frontal system coming in later tomorrow. Out the door, we're dry. Be mindful of the low visibility for the morning drive. Some isolated showers and thunder are possible, favoring far southeastern areas of the state for today. Charleston likely dry with sunshine. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Still got some highs well in the ranks of the 90s there. Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Charlotte, and D.C. joining that as well, potentially near 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. From Panhandle to Panhandle today, likely dry, some areas of patchy fog, and then partly cloudy to partly sunny. Highs low to mid 80s today. Eastern Panhandle a little bit warmer today, mid to upper 80s, some near 90s. Petersburg near 90 today. Across our northern areas, likely dry. Highs around the 70s and 80s in the higher elevations. Elkins near 83 for you today. And to the south, slight chance of an afternoon shower or brief thunderstorm. Lewisburg near 82. Huntington near 88. Warm to hot temps next week. Back near 90.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust, perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, or running your business. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. More of your texts coming up, 304-TALK-304. Phones are always available as well, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. The U.S. Small Business Administration offers low-interest disaster loans to help rebuild, repair, and replace damaged property. The loans are available. Can you apply? How do you apply? Who is eligible? Let's see if we can put some answers to those questions following the floods over the last month here in West Virginia. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is Michelle Watley, Public Information Officer for the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience for the U.S. Small Business Administration. Michelle, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Glad you could take some time. So what does the Small Business Administration offer for people who may have been impacted by the disastrous flooding earlier this summer here in West Virginia?
That's a great question. And so those who have been impacted by the floods and tornadoes that took place on or around July 21st or 22nd are eligible for resources from the Small Business Administration, also known as the SBA, to help with recovery from damage to physical property and also working capital or revenue loss that small businesses may have experienced. And so often, go ahead. I apologize.
No. Please continue.
Well, I want to be clear. The Small Business Administration has a number of resources to help small businesses. But in this case, our resources for disaster recovery also cover those who are homeowners and renters. So you don't have to have a small business to be eligible for resources to recover after the disasters that took place in July of this year.
So obviously, losing a home, losing a business, it's extremely overwhelming. It's tough enough just to be in business and be able to make a payroll. What do I need to do? How do I start? Can I go somewhere in the area, sit down with you, start the process? How does it all work?
That's another great question. And it is overwhelming to have to deal with the disaster and then have to deal with the overmath and work that it takes to recover. And so the first place I would suggest anyone start, if you're able, is to visit our website, www.sba.org/disaster, to learn more about the resources that we have available. In the counties impacted, there are 4 what we call primary counties that have been declared in this disaster for this particular disaster: Pleasants, Ritchie, Lewis, and Upshur. You'll find that you're eligible for resources to help you recover from physical damage, whether your business suffered equipment loss or lost its building, or if you're a homeowner or renter that experienced physical damage. You're eligible for resources to help you recover from that. And if you are a business that has suffered working capital loss, you're eligible for resources for that. In these different counties, we have centers open with customer service representatives who are able to help you navigate the application process. In some of these counties, SBA even has what we call a mobile recovery vehicle, going from county to county to meet survivors where they are and provide resources and assistance to apply for these resources and to answer questions. So whether it be stopping by one of our customer service centers, catching our mobile recovery vehicles in action, or simply visiting our website, we offer a number of ways to get access to the assistance you might need to apply for these resources.
Michelle Watley joining us, Public Information Officer for the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience from the U.S. Small Business Administration. For homeowners who are applying for these low-interest loans, what kind of basic information do they need to provide when applying?
Some of the basic information needed is for you to be able to tell through your application what physical damage you actually experienced because of the floods or the tornadoes. And so if you have pictures, or even if you're able to, again, share what physical damage you experienced, that's helpful. There are other pieces of information, data points needed. And when you visit our website or talk to one of our loan specialists, they're able to help you understand what's needed and help you get the information that they need to process your application.
Are there certain hurdles or minimums that I need to cross to be able to qualify? Let's say I'm a sole proprietor and maybe I own a lawn business and it's just me. I don't have any employees, but I have equipment loss. Can I still take advantage of just a one-person sole business? Can I still take advantage of some of these programs, or do I need to have certain levels of employees or certain levels of revenue? How does that work?
Absolutely. Most small businesses are micro businesses that may or may not have employees, that may be sole proprietorships, but that doesn't mean that you didn't suffer damage or suffer issues that may impact your business. And so what's needed in order for you to qualify is a credit history that is acceptable to the SBA, and that includes a number of criteria, not the traditional criteria that you might need for a bank, but other criteria points that they look at, and you just have to be able to show that you're able to repay the loans that you take out. And I think that's what makes our resources different and actually beneficial, in that SBA loans you the money directly, so you're not receiving the funds through a bank, and that the criteria needed is different from what you might experience at a bank. And with SBA loans, if you apply and for some reason are denied access to loans, our loan officers and customer service reps will work with you to obtain whatever paperwork may be missing or information or data points to ensure that you have submitted everything needed in order to be eligible and to get these loans. And so we'll work with you to figure out what's missing or what's needed to make sure you can be approved for these resources.
Michelle, what are the deadlines to apply?
That's a great question. And so there are three types of loans that survivors may be eligible for. We have physical disaster loans, as we talked about. Those loans are open to business owners, renters, and homeowners. Again, you don't have to be a business owner. If you're a renter, if you're a homeowner, and you are within the counties where the disaster has been declared, you're eligible for these loans. We have economic injury disaster loans, which we call IDA loans. And these loans are for businesses specifically within those disaster declared counties, and they help provide working capital loans to help you offset any revenue loss or capital losses needed to maintain your business. And last but not least, we have home disaster loans. So specifically, again, to homeowners and renters who experience damage to their homes. So those loans are the loans that we offer. For physical damage loans, the deadline is October 3rd, 2026. And for
What's the uptake like? What's the uptake like? Are people coming in, or are we not seeing as many people come in as you might want to see?
That's a good question. And just to backtrack real quick, our economic injury loans, the deadline for that is May 3rd. That's extended out a bit because of the fact that you may not realize that you have an economic injury until months down the line. So we want to make sure there's enough time for you to realize that and apply so that you're eligible for those loans. But we've not seen the response that we would hope to see. And we think part of that is because there's misinformation about what the resources are, what it takes to apply and be eligible, and acceptance. So that's part of the reason why I'm on the show today. I want to make sure that survivors are able to make informed decisions about what resources are available and to apply for these resources. So we would love to see more folks take advantage of these loans. Our loans have a 30-year repayment term. So you can have these loans up to 30 years. Our loans have no interest and no payments for the first year. So it'll be a year before you even have to make a payment or you're charged interest. Our interest rates are highly competitive. Depending on whether you have access to credit elsewhere or not, our rates are anywhere between 2.8% up to 8% for these loans. You don't have to have collateral up to $50,000 in loans amounts. And depending on which loans you apply for, you're eligible and have access to up to $2.1 million in loan funding and resources to get back on your feet. You don't have to have insurance or your insurance doesn't have to have kicked in order for you to be eligible for these loans and resources. And we know that's a barrier for some folks looking at other resource providers. It's not a barrier for us. And if you take out the loan and decide you don't want it, you can give the loan money back. If you take out the loan and you repay it before it's due, there's no prepayment penalty. So there's a lot of upside to being able to access these resources, and that you have a whole year before you have to make a payment or interest is charged. So you have a whole year to, deal with all of the other difficulties that come with dealing with a disaster. You're loaning directly from the SBA. There's not a bank involved. And you have up to 30-year repayment loan terms. And so again, we just want to make sure people who may be needing these resources know the information that they need in order to assess whether this is right for them, and that they have access to these resources.
Pleasance, Ritchie, Lewis, and Upshur counties are eligible to apply online. Visit sba.gov/disaster. You can also call an SBA Customer Service Center at 800-659-2955. You can email disastercustomerservice@sba.gov for more information. And there's also the mobile units that are out and about, as well, as Michelle said. Michelle Watley, PIO, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience, U.S. Small Business Administration. Thank you for getting the information out today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me as a representative of the SBA. I want everybody to know we are here to see small businesses and the community survive these disasters, but also thrive. So we're looking forward to being a part and to contributing to that recovery, so that your communities can thrive going forward. Thank you both.
Absolutely. Thank you. Michelle Watley with the Small Business Administration. Take a break, come back, get to your text. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. the Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by Go-Mart.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304, that is the text line, 800-765-8255. The 25th season of Metro News High School Game Night kicks off Friday night. Fred and Dave are back with all the scores, recaps, and interviews from around the state of West Virginia, right up through the championships in Charleston. Metro News High School Game Night following your local high school football coverage. I told you there was a really long text. I wanted to get to it. I will do that now. Settle in for just a moment. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, with the resignation of Deputy Director Josh Smith, many staff at FCC Hazleton are hopeful that the persistent and unfair scrutiny placed on staff will finally come to an end. We are optimistic that this change will allow us to return to holding inmates fully accountable for serious assaults, dangerous weapons, and drug-related violations, responsibilities that are essential to maintaining a safe and secure facility. As someone with 20 years of service at Hazleton, I could say without hesitation that the current environment is the most dangerous I have ever witnessed. Staff safety has steadily taken a back seat to initiatives that prioritize inmate comfort over institutional security. This shift has left officers feeling unsupported, undervalued, and increasingly vulnerable in the already high-risk workplace. I sincerely hope that Director William Marshall will also consider stepping down, allowing new leadership to restore balance, reinforce accountability, and reestablish staff safety as a core priority. It is equally disappointing that Senator Capito and Congressman Moore did not act on the concerns raised by Hazleton staff. Many employees reached out in good faith, seeking assistance and advocacy, only to feel ignored by the very officials entrusted with representing their interest. The men and women who report to Hazleton every day deserve to be heard, respected, and supported, not overlooked, says the texter. That story, you may or may not have caught it. The Deputy Director, Josh Smith, stepped down from the Federal Bureau of Prisons yesterday. A former inmate who was in charge of the thousands of corrections officers at these federal facilities, including Hazleton. Haven't heard much out of Hazleton lately, at least on the record, off the record. Staffing is down. Morale is about as low as it's ever been. If you had an opportunity to go to another agency or retire early or get out of there, guys have left because of the conditions there. And a lot of the guys who are there are stuck there because they're at that tipping point of being, 17, 18, 19 years in, and, you want to get your federal retirement. I get it. But guys are working double shifts. Guys are working long hours. They're being pushed to the brink, and that is a top. I don't mean that in a good way. That is a dangerous facility to work in. That's where Whitey Bulger was murdered, for heaven's sakes. But maybe morale's up a little bit today amongst the corrections officers. Good luck to them. Best to them over in Hazleton and the other facilities as well. 304 Talk 304. Let me see. Well, guys, here's number 3 in this trio. Just breaking, actor Tim Curry has passed away at the age of 80.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Wow, Tim Curry. Home Alone. Wow, what's his most famous film? I guess it depends on your age. I was going to peg him in Home Alone.
I went to Home Alone, too, when he plays the concierge. Just that evil little look, and then it morphs into the Grinch. I mean, that was superb acting, but he's been in so much.
Rocky Horror Picture Show? He was in that. He was the clown in It, right?
Wasn't he? Yes.
Wasn't he the clown?
They say it comes in 3s, so I guess, Hayden Panettiere. Dolly Parton, Tim Curry.
Wow. Well, I had missed that. Thank you for the update from the texter there. Age 8. He was not well, though. Didn't he have a stroke in recent years?
Yeah, I'm looking here. I thought I saw something about his heart, but I need to double check that.
Texter says Clue movie. Yeah, he was in Clue. Yep. 304 Talk 304. That was the real definition of the inmates running the prison. LOL. Or past inmates, says the texter. All right, take our final break. Come back. We'll wrap things up for a Wednesday. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. For years, rural communities in West Virginia waited for reliable, high-speed internet. Now, fiber is most likely at your front door. Public investment helped build the opportunity, and CityNet delivered the service to homes and businesses just like yours. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can count on, switching to fiber has never been easier. Fast downloads, smooth streaming, better connections for work, school, and everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Celebrate the Mountain State with the West Virginia Lottery's Mountain State Money Second Chance. Play Daily 3, Daily 4, or Cash 25 in-store or online for your chance to win. 40 winners will each take home $500. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. I was just looking at Tim Curry's filmography. during the break. Yeah, played Pennywise in It, the Clue movie, Home Alone 2. Annie, forgot about that.
Yeah, Rooster.
Muppet Treasure Island. Hunt for Red October, to name a few.
Yeah, Three Musketeers.
I think William Shakespeare. Wow. He was in a lot more than I gave him credit for. Long-time character actor there. Did a lot of television, too.
Yeah. You were right. He did have a stroke in 2012.
Oh, okay. I knew he hadn't been. I thought he had not been in great health there recently. So, oh, well, Tim Curry passing away at the age of 80. Here's a cliffhanger for you. Things are getting nuts in Montague County with the ancillary discussion that's connected to flock cameras. Things get nuts today. Mike Nolting will have details later at WVMetroNews.com.
Are people not heeding your advice in your column from yesterday?
Nope. They're nuts. They're all crazy. Listen, you don't have to post and repost. Here's the cliffhanger for you. Here's the teaser. You don't have to post and repost everything on social media that you see. It might not be a good idea. Oh, mercy.
I'm intrigued.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's to borrow the old line from from Batman. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
It's a soap opera.
Follow the news of the day at WVMetroNews.com. For the entire crew, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 10:06. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.